Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again, and the Wuthering Waves 3.5, Xuanfang, Land of Xuanfang, Mangzhou, really confusing title for the new region. It's just concluded, and I think one thing that's clear for a lot of people, especially now that we've taken the time to digest that near hour-and-a-half live stream, I do believe the longest one in Wuthering Waves history. It was longer than some of their anniversary live streams. It's time for us to finally talk about, well, what's actually in this patch. Because I think what's clear to pretty much everyone that's witness that stream is that this patch is one of the biggest ones ever. And there's likely a ton of stuff that you might have missed. There's a ton of things that you're not fully aware of. And our goal for today is to go through everything when it comes to at least like the surface level experience of the patch, just to talk about what you have to look forward to. So first things first, to get us started, the new units that are going to be available are, of course, Yang Yang and Sui Sui. Yes, the ones that you're going to be pulling at the very least. And we knew about these guys for quite a while. We know that they're Glacial, we know that they're Havoc, but we also know exactly what they're going to be doing on the battlefield too. Alongside that, we're going to be having Electro Rover. And they show you the unlock condition, progress the 3.5 main quest. And this kit over here looked insane. I think it looked like it was both a DPS as well as a sub DPS, where it had buffing ability alongside like an extended rotation where they go through like Rover's entire kit. It looks insane. It looks unreal. And then they have like an Ezreal ultimate at the end where they shoot off the giant crossbow. I think a crossbow is a sick weapon. I don't think anyone saw that shit coming. Yeah, I guess this is also confirmation that Sin is Electro, which makes sense because she makes a bunch of robots. Yeah, robots are powered by electricity, and they have, like, that green core on them. I guess that green core is, like, some electric shit. Because, well, we're in her region. We got the Electro power. I assume she's Electro, and she makes a bunch of robots. And the entire region looks like it's powered by some super Zeronite that's powered by electricity, right? Rover also does Electro Flare. So they're both like an Electro Flare sub DPS, maybe a DPS as well. Think about your Boolings, think about your Chisas. And I might as well just do this over here. It would probably be like a disservice for me to like not at least like mention what the guy's moveset looks like. And did they show off Arrow Rover after Sui Sui? Yeah, so they showed off Arrow Rover like an hour in. Bro, they got like a shield and everything too, a built-in parry. Then they used the sword as well. This moveset is just insane, bro. Remember, this is a free-to-play unit. This is the main character. Yo, Aether out here playing Fortnite, and we get this. Aether's playing Fortnite, and we get this. Bro, WuWa players are eating good. This is what... And, yes, so the Rover's got buffing abilities. And then apparently, like I said before, the extended on-field moveset, where I guess they can be a DPS too. I'm excited to see how viable they're actually going to be on release. This is my personal take. They might be dog shit. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just CC too. Switching to another teammate grants them an attack bonus. So that's the sub DPS piece, right? But alternatively, they can consume it. So this is what I'm saying over here. They can either buff somebody with their forte, I assume outro to them as well, or extend your on-field time, consume it, and then I don't know, become God. That's what it looks like is going on over here. So that's pretty good for a free-to-play character. That looks like Havoc though. I'm gonna be honest. That doesn't really look like Electro to me. Maybe we should have made the Electro Rover have a different color, because yeah, that kind of looks like Havoc. Anyways, that's Rover over here. This is our first real look at them. That's why I gave them a little bit of extra time, but that's gonna be the free unit that's coming out. Looks kind of fucking crazy. And then we got the weapons, where Kuro Games is proceeding to power creep, at least on the aesthetic and the visual side, more and more every single time, because now we have a... Bro, this looks like this looks like some shit from World of Warcraft. That's what I was saying. And this looks like also some shit from World of Warcraft. That's also what I was saying. So, yeah, really making the weapons look very, very, very pullable in this update. Like, this is a pet, and this is like tier 90 prestige, exotic, level, unique weapons. And that's what you got going on over here. So yeah, that's just the new content on the character side. There's also going to be 3 main quests where A, we get the journey of how Yang Yang ends up getting to Mangzhou. Sui Sui also visits us. We kind of already know what happens here. She turns into this. And so we're going to have one quest, I guess, featured around Sui Sui coming to Jinzhou and then journeying over to Xuanfang. And then we're going to have the actual, well, Xuanfang stuff that goes on over here and then the afternoon. Not a lot of stuff is going on. At least in terms of like the progression from like the little photos, you're just seeing like some of the characters. But one thing we also know is that the version art for this trailer also features, well, Sin, you can see her to the top right corner, Jing Ran, and of course, King Zhao in the left. And then if you actually saw what the version preview was looking like, well, these guys had a decent amount of screen time. Yeah, they had a decent amount of screen time in here. Okay. All right. Well, I know I'm saying that, but I'm not. It's an hour-long live stream, guys. Okay, it's really hard. It's really hard to see. This is probably a better way for us to look at it. This whole 1 minute 30-second one. So I paid attention over here. This is potentially, I guess, one of the other playable units people were taking a look at. It looks like Calcharo. I guess like I bet this is like the heavenly demon. Oh no, this does look like the heavenly demon actually. Yeah, no, this is a Wuxia trope as well. So potentially another introduced playable character. Maybe just an NPC, but they always have like the old guy. They always have like the old guy with the white hair and the mustache who's like fucking super strong. So like, he looks like he fits that archetype. They always have the elder, right? They always have the elder that's giga strong and like has like the most like chi energy and can like blow up a mountain with a punch. So like, that's that dude, I bet. And then, remember what I was saying before? Jing Ran shows up. I think he's actually going to be in the quest. Oh, wait. And let me just see this real fast. By the flame-blazing trails do be free. Oh, I guess he's fusion. Yeah, no, I guess he's fusion. And she's arrow. So that's where she shows up. She's just playing music while Yang Yang is fighting. And then you see Shin doing a whole lot of nothing, but then people are still gooning. She didn't do anything, bro. She's sitting down. Bro, she's just sitting down, lounging, and then she gets up. But that's what's there. So, those 3 units that all showed up were also all featured in the version art. So, they show up in the version trailer, and they show up in the version art. I assume they're going to show up somewhere in the story, too, but their involvement is being very simmered down, right? Because you want to know one scene that really got everybody really excited for a character that we didn't know was showing up at all. Y'all remember this moment over here? Y'all remember the first time we met Augusta? I feel like they're gonna do something like this with Sin in this quest. Probably in the first introduction quest. We're gonna get something like this with Sin. And we all remember, this was some insane aura farming, like, level shit. This didn't show up in any of the trailers. We didn't know she was gonna try to fight us, right? But this is the type of role that I feel like the characters are gonna have in the quest. Short aura farming ones, but then of course get us introduced. Because like, bro, this was unreal, was it not? Like, how is she doing that? Yeah, that's a big ass sword. And then she tries to beat her ass. So yeah, I can see that coming up. And you're not really going to see much of it here, but do know the new characters are going to be front and center for at least a good couple of parts of the story. Now, new region. This is probably the best looking region in WuWa history. It combines elements of, I feel like, all the different places we've visited. This looks like, for example, Rinasida. That one region where it's like rainbows and there's a bunch of like fog and water. This area reminds me of that. Then this one reminds me of Septimont. I'm not even joking. The lighting here literally reminds me of Septimont at night. And then over here, more of that Rinasida foggy area. Yeah, no, these ones look really similar. And then this looks like some fucking shit in this looks like some stuff in Lahai Roy, I'm gonna be honest. And then this just looks like Jinzhou. So to me, Xuanfang almost kind of looks like a bunch of different callbacks in terms of like the design. It looks very good, and I think it's probably visually, aesthetically, one of the best looking places we've seen, and it blows WuLing out of the water. And then for new events, Lament Recon is back. I don't think too many people are excited about Vampire Survivors joining us once again. But then we also got Virtual Crisis. And as we all know, Virtual Crisis is kind of like a part-time endgame mode where you have a bunch of different like challenge levers, stuff like that. Some say it's very similar to Contingency Contract in Arknight's Enfield. I don't want to necessarily say that because Arknight's Enfield is a really bad game. But yeah, they're really ramping it up here. At the very least, they're really ramping it up here with the difficulty in the end game, at least in Whimpering Waste and TOA. So there's a good chance that this one over here is going to be completely fucking nuts. And it really pushes the buttons of a lot of players, but it's also a very fun event that a lot of people have. And it will offset the goofy minigaminess of this one. I think people aren't really going to complain because they have something to really sink their teeth into combat event-wise over here. Next, photo event. Gooners, go have fun. And that full mean guy is back if you like him. Then they got a web event. I think this is literally just a web event, so nobody really cares. This is just the memory travelogue. You go around, take photos. Lolo's a login event. Then we got End State Matrix as well, with, I guess, Denya being the highlight of this reset. I don't know how I feel about Denya being the highlight because she's not really that great of a boss fight visually. And I think the best place for me to truly demonstrate that is just by, like, taking a look. Do they even showcase this fight during the live stream? Maybe they do. Maybe they do. This is one of the more shitty-looking fights in the game, if I'm going to be honest. Let me. Are you guys ready? Bro, can you see her? Like, straight up, I just have a legitimate question. Like, can you see her during that fight? Just look at this. I didn't even know it was her. I don't even know it's Denya until, like... Do you know what I mean? That's crazy that her model is that small. I feel like she just needs to be bigger to be like have visual clarity during the fight. It's absurd how she gets hidden by her own VFX. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Is this the web event? Which one's the web event? I don't know which one is. They both kind of look the same, and I guess that's the issue with this art style. I don't know how these two are different. They both look like the same goddamn thing. So, yeah, I think these are both, like, one's an exploration, the other's a web event. And then, of course, our regular daily login that we have every single patch. So that's what's going to be showing up over here, guys, at least on the event site. And as you can see, that one's pretty substantial too. But some people could say that's actually not a huge number of events. Well, that's just because there's going to be the whole new region exploration as well. Do keep that in mind. If a patch, especially a new region one like 3.5, doesn't seem like the craziest one ever content-wise, that's because there's all of this shit for you to sink your teeth into, and you'll have a brand new bike to do it on too that can drift. So that's pretty cool. That's going to basically conclude the main new events and the stuff like that. There's also some of the stuff you can spend your money on. So the Chisa skin to me looks like a fucking disaster. I don't know who decided that it should have looked like this, but if you buy this one, sure. I just don't really know how you should be judged as a person after buying this one. This one, on the other hand, I would say this one is a little bit more tasteful, right? You got the whole California look going on. She looks like a picnic table. Yeah, I think that's the main take. Is this worse than her default skin? Yes, I think that's the main takeaway. Is this worse than Chisa's default skin? Absolutely yes. Is this one? I think technically no. It's a different flavor, but some people could say yes. But this one actually looks like a skin. This one just looks worse than her default. Next. The standard units are back. And we're going to be having a whole separate video about how you should be viewing this banner, but we've gotten some further details about this. Essentially, the 1.x units, this character specifically, are going to be back with one of the most ridiculous discounts that I think I've ever seen in the space. So essentially, this is how the banner is going to work. You'll have an 80 pull spending event. This is literally just a rebate. The banner does have a 50-50, which is unfortunate, but you'll get a free 10 pull to roll on this banner, and then every 10 pulls, you get a rebate of 3 pulls. So essentially, at 80 pulls on the banner, you would have gotten 21 back. But when you're getting 10 for free, you theoretically, right, only really need like 40, 50 pulls, something like that, and you should be able to get one of the 5 stars. It's either one of the 5 stars on this banner or one of the 5 stars on the standard banner. But regardless of what it is, it's a 5-star within like 40 to 50 pulls, assuming you even hit pity there, not even getting it early. But some of the other rules regarding the banner are this. 1, the pity isn't shared with the event banners. However, it's a special type of banner called a reverb resonator convene. And resonator reverb convenes, the reverb ones, they do share guarantees. And so different characters will likely be on this banner. This is basically WuWa's attempt at chronicled, like the chronicled whatever, where you have a rotating list of units that go in, and then the banner's going to be, or the banner's going to share pity between the rotating units. And the thing is that it appears that this is going to be the standard moving forward, having this Gifts of the Star Path event alongside the Chronicled Wish banner, the version of it, while this exclusive 10 pull seems like it's only going to be here for this version. And then this is kind of like to advertise the new banner. Here's a 10 pull that you can just throw at it. Here's the system that we're going to have for it moving forward. You get the units on a discount, but the units are like older, right? And these are the ones that are available. You got Jian, Yinlin, Jinxi, Changli, Jeja, and Zhang Liao. The unit that you should be pulling from these, realistically, the only units you should actually be pulling from this are Jian and Changli. That's my personal take. They're truly the only ones that, at least at this point, have viable teams that you can play. The rest of them kind of don't really have viable teams. That's just the reality. And you could say Mornier and Lene for Zhang Liao. That means your Mornier and Lene are supporting Zhang Liao. She uses Brant and Lupa. He uses Yuno and Chacona. Far less in demand than Zhang Liao, and far less in demand than Mornier and Lene. You might also want to pick up Jeja too if you got Carlotta, but yeah, that's assuming you don't have any of Carlotta's other teammates. But that's gonna be the banner over here. And then, obviously, this is gonna be the true appeal. You got the weapon banner back. And you should really only be picking up one thing. String Master. Yes, this is your opportunity to pick up String Master again. But do keep in mind that this weapon banner over here, you're not getting no discount on it. You're only getting standard pulls. Or you're only getting, not standard, you're only getting character pulls from the discount. And only character pulls from here. If you want String Master, you're going to have to pay for it. But it's guaranteed. Again, Kuro knows this weapon is overpowered and broken, and it's the second best in slot on almost every single unit, and if you have it, you can easily skip most signatures in the game for Rectifier users. They know that, and so, well, you're going to have to pay full price, but you can get it. So that's cool. That's how these two banners are going to work, and that's how Gifts of Star Path is going to work. And overall, I think it's a great implementation. Initially, I thought it was going to be predatory and not actually that great, but from what I'm seeing over here, it looks like the banner is going to be on a permanent discount, and the fact that the pity carries forward, and you can just goof around, right? Throw a couple of pulls at this if you have some left over, assuming you do, and you can't lose anything. Assuming that you pull on this banner at some point in the future, again, for another rerun, you can't lose anything. You get the 10 for free over here, so you're getting something, and then you also have this. So even a player that doesn't engage with this at all, well, at the very most, you got a free 10 pull on a banner, and you could have gotten 4 stars and all that stuff too. And as far as I can tell, bro, the 4 stars on this banner are overpowered. It's Bu Ling and Sanhua. Bro, this banner is insane if it's Bu Ling and Sanhua in here. Bro, this banner might be worth pulling out just for Bu Ling. Holy shit. Wait, this banner is actually a lot better than I thought. Yeah, if you like Bu Ling and you wanted a Bu Ling, this banner's broken. You might just get a free Bu Ling from the temple too. So if anything, it's free corals. And I don't think it's like free corals and maybe a free Bu Ling. And that's if you're not pulling on the banner, because you still got that 10 for free. And guess who Bu Ling is probably going to be a great teammate for? Just saying, Bu Ling is Electro Flare too, and so is Rover. So she might be a great teammate for him as well. Just letting y'all know. Would make sense too in the lore. But that's looking pretty good, right? As you can see, this patch is fucking stacked, right? This patch is legitimately stacked. There's so many decisions to make. There's so many things to do. And of course, there's going to be a lot of other things to grind as well. Because we just showed off a bunch of the different echoes, right? Like some of these dudes be looking kind of freaky. I think they fucked up here. Why'd they show the same shit twice? Are they retarded? Like, couldn't you have just combined these? It's the same. Anyways, there's a lot more echoes than this, but I think they're trying to represent the main Sonata types. And, well, based off of the version trailer, you might be having the same idea as me. They kind of already confirmed what all the characters are going to do. So, first things first, you have the Song of Feathered Trace. The bird characters are going to use the Feathered Sonata set. because as you can see over here, this is how it works. Upon inflicting Havoc Bane, which Yang Yang SP is 99.9% going to do now that I've seen this, gain crit rate and heavy attack damage, which I guess Yang Yang SP is also going to do is heavy attack damage as well. Just saying. And then Sui Sui is going to buff attack and then also inflict Glacial Chafe. And then the two-piece effect is ER. So I guess Yang Yang's going to want some ER as well. Maybe 120. So yeah, there you go. Maybe Furlova could buff Yang Yang. We still got to see what's going on, but it's 2 sets for 1. So as you're building Yang Yang, save your sweet pieces and just get them ready for her. Very, very, very W. Very, very, very quality of life. And I love that Kuro does this for characters that are related in the lore. For example, Yuno and Augusta got the shared Sonata set. So did Rebecca and Lucy. And now Yang Yang and Sui get the shared one. So they like do it. It's like a W player friendly moment, but then also W lore friendly moment, which is like I think they pat themselves on the back as well when they do that. Hiyuki and Lucilla, oh yeah, they're like married in lore too. Yeah, they're always hanging out and they use the same set. So yeah, basically if the two characters hang out in the lore, they use the same set. That's like actually what seems to be going on. All right. Now we got Heart of Evil's Purge. And this is where stuff really gets interesting. Arrow damage plus inflicting Toon Strain shifting increases crit damage and grants an arrow damage bonus. So you probably saw from the exact trailer that I was looking at before who really looks like she's Arrow here. And, well, there's only one answer. They actually show it in, like, the preview. It's that bitch who's playing the strings while Yang Yang's dying. You see how Yang Yang's, like, almost about to die here? She's just out here playing music. So, yeah. This character obviously looks like a... Now that I've seen this, she just looks like the most arrowy character in the history of Arrow, because, like, she's even, like, out on top where she can, like, feel the breeze and shit. There's, like, petals and stuff flowing around her, and then, like... Because the alternative is that she's fusion, and go fuck yourself if you think that's just... that shit's not fucking happening. So, like... I think she's gonna be a Toon Strain Broadblade user. And the reason for that is very simple. Because Toon Strain has this one weapon that's been, like, really looking odd. Increases attack, dealing damage to targets under Toon Strain, grants 24% liberation damage. So, based off the fact that I think that Ching Zhao is a Broadblade user, because they're not going to power creep Cart this soon. I think Ching Zhao is a Broadblade so that Cart can still have the sword. And we also have a Broadblade that scales with Toon Strain. That deals liberation damage. So, my personal take is this. Ching Zhao is going to be a liberation scaling Broadblade user that scales with Toon Strain, and Linnae is actually going to be her best in slot. Yeah, some people might be saying Denya, but if she's a liberation scaler, guess what Linnae's got, ladies and gentlemen? Guess what Linnae has?
Long bucket list. Good thing I've got time to check every
liberation, damage, amplification. And guess what the Toon Strain Greatsword has? Liberation damage. So I'm just assuming that Linnae, with her Toon Strain mode, which also doesn't have a best in slot right now. Just so you know, Linnae's Toon Strain mode was a best in slot for Luke on his release, but that got taken over by Denya. And so right now, the Toon Strain mode is currently unused. If you're looking for, like, it is currently... if you have every unit in the game, or if you have Denya, you are never using this. It doesn't exist. It's fake. It's not real. You're only using Rupture currently. So, her being a Liberation scaling, Broadblade, Toon Strain, Arrow DPS, well, that makes her perfect to fit the role. So yeah, that's what we're seeing right here. Linnae is so overused, not really as much anymore, especially after Lucilla and Denya's release. Linnae's not really that highly used anymore. I think most people only use her on Imith's team nowadays, actually. They use Lucilla with Hiyuki. Yeah, she only has the Imith team for me. I don't really use her anywhere else. So yeah, I need to use her for a Toon Strain mode. So that's what we're seeing there. Again, just speculation, but I think it's kind of... It'll be kind of obvious once you see the next set that we have. And this one over here is going to be the Lamp of Nether Road. So if you read this and you're not a fucking idiot, you would know who this is for. Yeah, it's called the Lamp of Nether Road. And Nether means dark. And this guy's dark. He's got a lamp that's on fire. So yes, it's him. He's an HP scaling fusion DPS. Do people still think this is Ching Zhao's set and Jing Ran's is actually this one? Do you guys still think this is Jing Ran's set after seeing the Lamp of Nether Road? The Lamp of Nether Road. Yeah. So it looks like we have green fire now, which is sick, right? This looks like, if you know about WuWa and you know about kind of like the lore of WuWa, there are these things called Jiangshis, which are essentially, right? These Jiangshis are like kind of like undead zombies that like exist, and they're powered by like white fire, essentially. Like it's a very common thing for like the undead in like Chinese wuxia stuff to have like this white fire stuff associated with them. So like he might be the closest to like edgy necromancer, like evil whatever, right, going on. So yeah, he's basically like Flynn's, except the fire version of it. So yeah, think like, yeah, just think like white fire, undead, that sort of stuff. I think that's the vibe that we're getting over here. Anyways, enough of that shit. Those are gonna be the 3 new sets. So I'm under the assumption that Qing Zhao and Jing Ran should be available very, very, very soon. I think some would dare say potentially even in the next update, because they're getting introduced in the story in this patch, right? Introduced in the story in this patch, and then from there, their sets are already in the game and you can pre-farm for them, blah, blah, blah. And then you can see the 2-piece effect. Once again, I mentioned this before, but it's HP. And upon gaining a shield, gain a stackable crit rate increase. This means that he spams shields. Maybe Yuno is his best in slot, but this could also mean if Yuno's meant to work with him, he's potentially a heavy attack damage dealer as well. However, if Yuno doesn't work with him, maybe we get a different shield buffing character, or he's just like a separate sort of like deal. But if he's heavy attack, then Yuno theoretically does work with him. Check the echo. Oh, Rust Fire Chassis to attack enemies, dealing fusion damage. Resonators with this echo will deal higher fusion and heavy attack damage. Oh, okay, so he's heavy attack. Okay, so it looks like Qing Zhao might be a 44111 character. Oh no, Qing Zhao's probably going to use a different 3 cost as her active echo. Yeah, Qing Zhao's probably just going to have a 3 cost as her active echo, and so will Sway. Because you can see over here, this echo is the feather one, and it only has a Havoc main bonus. So yeah, Sway's probably going to have a 3 cost echo, and so is Qing Zhao. While this one is going to be for Jing Ran, and this one's for Yang Yang. Yeah, you can see this one gives you Havoc main damage, and while this one gives you fusion and heavy attack. So yeah, looks like we got our next heavy attacker, boys. Looks like Augusta might be dead. Who knows? But with different scaling, one being an HP scaler and the other's an attack scaler, maybe it'll be fine. Yeah, Augusta will scale with attack, while, yeah, no, Jing Ran will need a different support. Nah, I think Augusta's going to be fine, because Jing Ran can't use a Shorekeeper, Jing Ran can't use a Verena, can't use a Mornier. He needs somebody that doesn't give attack. He needs somebody that doesn't give attack. He needs somebody that gives a different damage bonus. We'll see. So yeah, that's going to be the news on the characters, and I told y'all, right? There's a lot of shit in this update, because we're about 32 minutes in at the time of recording. We still have the quality of life. Guys, we still have the fucking quality of life to talk about. Why do you think this live stream was an hour and 20 minutes? Bro, because they put so much shit in here, bro. And then, okay, anyways, enough extending it. Materials. The instances of them, they're going to be directly available in the guidebook, and you can just teleport over. So this is likely going to help a lot of like the loading screen time that a lot of people had, where you would teleport to the domain, have to click F, and then see the animation, do all that shit. Now you're just going to go right into the menu. Great. Love it. Next, you're also going to have voice pack customizations. So now you can make your Rover Chinese while everyone else is speaking English, and then you can feel like a foreign national visiting the US for the first time. Sorry. No, that's not why you should do it. No, go change like the characters you don't like to the voices you do like, and yeah, just do that. All right, next. Somebody should play the game like that, where your Rover has Chinese voices and everyone else is speaking English. That would be funny as fuck. Anyways, my bad. Sorry. Following the version 3.5 update, the Pioneer Experience function will become available with the next step. So basically, all they're doing over here is that they are allowing you to, well, optimize your fast track experience. I would view this as seasons of WuWa. Think of, well, season 1 as Jinzhou, then you have season 2, Rinasida, season 3, Lahai Roy, season 4, like season 3's OVA, Cyberpunk, the Cyberpunk spinoff episode, and then you have season 4 over here. Kind of just view it like that, and then you have like little episodes. It's nice. Then there's also going to be client optimization, less storage size, going down to I think like maybe 80 gigs or something like that. We're also going to have the Echo Gallery, so that's cool. So you can You can take a look at their idle animations now. I don't think they're going to be doing it for this echo. I think they're going to be doing it for some of the echoes that were introduced in 3.2. And then this one. This one is big. Following the version 3.5 update, players may use the regenerative pistol to bioprint of collectible resonator leveling materials found within the Jinzhou, Black Shores, and Runasita. So essentially what this means is that people will now be able to make level up mats for any of the older units. Essentially, if it's a pre-Lahai Roy character, right? Pre-Lahai Roy character, you don't need to, like, skip the story to unlock the ability to level up your units to max. Because you had early access for the bosses, you had early access for all these other things, but you did not have early access to the mats on release. So, yeah, no more need for story skipping for at least leveling up the old characters for the new players. But we'll have to see whether or not this works for the Echo sets too. But that's just another one. Good listening to. We've made a bunch of videos about this a bunch of times, and Kuro probably saw that this was really bad for new players before when they were pulling Chisa, and they were like, oh, do I need to do all of Honami City to, like, get this? You can probably see what's going on, right? So that's going to be what's going on over here. But I will say, Kuro Games, you got to go the next step and make the tacit fields available as well. Early. Maybe they already are, and that's how it's going to work with the new guidebook, but I would highly recommend making these available early as well, because does it matter if somebody's able to do a fucking task? What am I missing out on critical lore? What Kuro Games, do you think I'm missing, like, do you think my experience with the game is spoiled because I went into a fucking door and then killed shit? No, it's like, but this is like a completely different, where the fuck even am I? Bro, I'm in, like, hell. It's not like this is even related to where the fuck I was. Like, look, it's like, what the fuck? Anyways, that's the clear next step. Hopefully they do it. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the whole goddamn update. And we use the one in-game. We're just going to do a final sweep over here just to see if there's... Oh, I missed a new permanent event. Yeah, the whole WuLing Tower. I guess that's there as well. Bro, there's so many optimizations. So many gameplay things, of course, the new outfits, all of that. Oh, I forgot. 2 new bike skins. This one looks insane. I might actually get this one. I said I wasn't going to buy bike skins because I thought they were for fucking losers. Well, I guess I'm a fucking loser now. And then you're going to get that one for free, too. And what else? You got the 2 goofy-ass accessories. I think these look dumb as shit. And I will judge you if you put them on your character. Same with this one. Put it on if you want. I don't care. And there's actually way more echoes than we thought. Yeah, no, they only showed 2. That's why I was saying it was crazy that they only showed 2 when there's actually like 17 million more. And those are the 3 new sonatas. Get these aliens out of here. Those are going to be the 3 new sonatas that, well, accompany all of them. And I guess they got phantom echoes too. Oh, yeah, I was about to say, one of these dudes has like a... I don't know why they designed this echo to have a spiked dick. Yeah, this dude has like a Morningstar penis. I don't know why they did that, but like, that's like literally what the echo... Why does it have a 3rd arm that's just dangling down? Dude, who designed this thing? I'm just gonna... Bro, you need to be fucking... Bro, you need to be contained. Yo, whoever made this, what? Bro, are you good? Like, are you good? Morningstar... What do you mean? Why are people trying to call me out? Look at this thing. Anyways, then you got all of this, the hologram. I don't know why they just showed her twice like that. And yeah, I think that's mainly it. Yeah, reruns. Oh, I forgot to mention the reruns. Very good reruns. Lene, Luke, Imoth. Some of the best reruns ever, to be honest. This is gonna be an extremely profitable patch. Kuro Games making a lot of money here. Yeah. And I guess the reruns are the one thing that they're missing, and I guess they got the PS5 edition, but we've essentially covered everything. Yeah, the reruns were the last thing, but we'll have a separate video on that later, too, as you can see. This patch is unreal. This patch is insane, and it really does make you wonder, man, was 3.4 even planned? Wuthering Waves 3.4. Because to me, it seems like they had this shit ready to go instead of version 3.4, because this is just, there's way too much stuff for like a whole month to have made a difference. I think they had this all ready for 3.4. It's just they had to do the Cyberpunk collab. So they just had like a 30-day break patch for the collab where they just had Lucilla's quest and that, and they just had this like fucking fucking ready to go in the chamber, bro. And they're just, and now they're just blasting. Yeah, 3.4 literally looked like a speed bump patch. But this just looks insane. Yeah, no, I think they cook so hard it's unbelievable, and we are eating so good. And a 5-star Michelin meal like this could not have come at a better time, because every other gacha is dog shit. So yes, Wuthering Waves has done it again. Wuthering Waves has saved gacha once again, and we're now back on the save Kuro Games cycle. And it's probably going to stay on that, because we don't want to kill Kuro Games anymore, because Kuro Games is the only one doing anything in this space. And this is all the proof that you need of it today. Let me know what you all thought about this amazing patch. Peace out.